Welcome to the Angels Positivity and Love Show. Incredible guests the world over with amazing experiences, insights, and a super high vibe to share with all of us. We've got coming back to us Pontea Dianati out of the San Diego area. She's incredible, spiritual teacher, high vibe energy healer, former psychologist, hardcore psychologist, I'll say, but has completely dedicated herself to helping others light up in the heart. She's had some amazing experiences along the way, and she's here to share again with us. She was just on the APL Spotlight series, and you can catch her a few months back. That's in the spring of 2026. And I'm just super excited to have her on the main show. She'll also be on a Mind, Body, Spirit panel coming out. Uh, well, by the time you see this, it will have already come out with two other amazing intuitive types. We'll call it that way. Pantea, great to see you again. Welcome on the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Michael. I appreciate it.
And again, thank you for being here. Okay, I want to go kind of big picture, but not global affairs. Really, for humanity, all of us on our individual path daily, just being in the heart. And I'm going to throw out a few phrases for you to see where you want to take us. Uh, Being is believing in all. You do not need to be like anyone else. Be you. Smile more, think less. Do not permit others to dictate your well being. Own your own being in life. Love more and allow more. You can be happy now in this very moment without a single reason whatsoever. Where do you want to take us with those statements?
Oh, wow, so many good ones. Being ourselves is a really good one, right? And not letting people, like, not trying to be someone else other than what we are. And so I speak to that because I feel like, sometimes we see people online or we read books and we get inspired by them, and then we somehow might think our path is not right because we're not doing what they're doing. But God, in my opinion, like made us all very individualized, you know? So authenticity and just being ourselves, like I think is the most important thing, you know? And if everybody does that, they'll be on their own perfect path. And so that one is really important, you know? And then being in the heart, as you mentioned, so not getting too intellectual. The reason I left the field of psychology was exactly that, because when people were coming, they just want to like analyze their thoughts, change their thoughts. But as much as we change the thoughts, thoughts will never go anywhere. It's just like a machine, right? But being in the heart, we can feel the person in front of us, what kind of a person they are. It makes our relationship with our family better and with our friends better, with nature better. So the heart is the key to everything. So I think that's going to be the next 20 years is how do we all come back to the heart? All these 100 years of spiritual teachings, let's say the last 100 years, right? It's only taken us so far, but now we're all hitting a wall. So the only way to go through that wall is going to be to go through the heart, you know?
On the spirituality front, I'm going to go 180 here. On the spirituality community front, there's 30,000 different groups with tons of different ideas or practices or rituals or ways you can get to your heart. There's a million ways to get to your heart, but there's something called unity consciousness. And if you go deep into that, and this isn't a criticism, it's just another flavor on the palate or a little extra contrast. A lot of folks doing unity consciousness will step away from angels or loving galactic beings or your relatives or religious figures or non religious figures like Plato, who might be a great spiritual guide, or Native American chiefs and fairies. There's a lot of different loving beings out there, even animal consciousness. As a collective on the planet versus, the deer across my fence over there. Um, can you balance that out and make it make sense? There's so much contrast, but there are certain groups that are like all is one, and there's no other answer to no matter what the question is. Make that make sense for us.
Yeah, all is one. That is true because we're all one source that, it broke out into a bunch of little lights and we're all that. But that includes everything. It doesn't leave out the animals. It doesn't leave out the angels. It doesn't leave out the chiefs. Like those are all important part of the all. So if we go into unity consciousness and suddenly we're like, oh, angels don't matter because I'm one with everything. Well, angels have been helping us all along. So then we're letting go of appreciation, we're letting go of gratitude, which comes with unity consciousness. The masters who are truly unity consciousness, like Buddha, Jesus, they never left out the animals or the angels. They talked about them. So true unity consciousness would be inclusive. They wouldn't leave out anyone because of their sexuality or because of their gender or because of anything. So, yeah, that's how, like, and that would be the sign to look for. A unity teacher will be inclusive. Even if someone is like not necessarily following the right path, the right teacher will somehow include them as well. You know what I mean? Is what I've seen from the teachers that are unity consciousness. Like, for example, Reverend Bill McDonald, who's one of my mentors, he's very inclusive, even with people that are teaching things that are, let's say, not the highest path. I've seen he embraces them. And sometimes those people come back to the right path because they are embraced by that love, you know?
And to that really big list, I should have added India deities and gurus. It's a really big melting pot of figures.
Yeah, the right gurus, like if, for example, if I was going to pick a teacher, like the reason I call Reverend Bill one of my teachers is because when you look at his life, it's very much like kosher and clean. He's been married to one woman. He's very appropriate with his female students. He is just like, just he demonstrates integrity. But then there's other gurus that now it's kind of coming out with the Epstein list coming out. We're realizing some of these people are not clean. They're not legitimate. So I would say, like, if we are going to follow teachers, we should look at their life as a whole. How do they treat their family, for example? Like there's one guru that's very famous, I'm not going to say, but he was unfaithful to his wife and then was found that he was with all of his students. So that person's probably not going to be a true teacher. But if they're like honorable in other aspects of their life, then their teachings is probably true as well. Because once the higher we go, we're getting cleansed. And well, all of us have a past, we all learn and we grow. So we don't want to judge ourselves or judge others but what are they demonstrating now in the present moment? And do they like acknowledge their past that they made a mistake, that kind of stuff. So we want to include everyone, but also just be aware of who we're following and like what is the rest of their life look like,
Hmm.
you know?
Well put. Okay. What's something you've come to a realization about in the last 5 years or so that's been pretty pivotal?
Let's see. The biggest one was like when I had my near-death experience, realizing God was real, like 100%. Because when I went on the other side, the voice I heard was the voice I'd been hearing my whole life. And so I was like, oh my God, there's 100% a God, because in this spirituality, there's this thing like where they say, like, we're all God. And yes, that's true. We are all little versions of God, but there's also this great big creator, that's looking out after us, whether it's grandpa or grandma. There is this one source. So that was the biggest one for me the last 5 years, because then I could just relax. Like when things happen in my life that are stressful, I'm like, nope, God has my back and everything is going to work out. And so that belief being solid, I would say, was the biggest life-changing thing for me, because I could just lean on it no matter what's happening. And before I was like almost certain there was a God, but there was always a voice that was doubting it, like maybe it's not, maybe all this science I studied, because science gets to you when you read all those research. But then I was like, nope, there's a God. It for sure is, you know?
Well, you're going on to a mind, body, spirit panel. By the time people see this, they'll have already had access to it with Mona Sabani, PhD. And she described in her interview for her show how I think it was 5 or 6 years of scientific, training, research, stuff like that, and being exposed to a lot of brilliant minds, how it'll squish all the spirituality right out of you. If it ain't right in front of you and it's proven by a scientific theory and data set, it doesn't exist. And we also had Dr. Karen Wyatt, retired physician. She lives in Redondo Beach, California. She was episode 110, August 30th of 2024. She shared how going through medical school and then she had the same sort of experience. But I remember her sharing also that the first day of her residency, um, They asked, "Why are you there?" With everybody gathered around in a group. She put her hand up and said, "Love." And she learned very quickly never to repeat that again. They
Mm.
squished it out of her. And she was the one who shared a beautiful 7, 8, 9 years old in a safe bed in a safe house. She had a guardian angel, her guardian angel, but my guardian angel as well. This angel, she knew right away that was her angel, all in white at the foot of her bed, and poor parents. After that conversation at that young age, she decided she wanted to be a doctor. And
Oh,
so, flash forward,
wow.
here she is retired and got to meet that angel on the beach in Redondo Beach as a human for half an hour to have a chat. With that, talk to us about how big, and you can go in a bunch of different directions here, how Indian deities, Native American chiefs, fairies, angels, galactic figures. Can you paint the picture of some of the different experiences you've had and then tell us a couple of stories if it's okay?
Sure. With the, let's see, Indian deities, Galactic. I'll start with the Galactic because because that's kind of like the hot topic right now, and we're, we have a little, the government's finally talking about it. So, okay. So ETs are real, as a person with a psych background, I'll say that some of the experiences people are having are real and some of them are not real. So we have to be careful what's real, what's not. I have one client that came to me and she did have an implant in her head. We did an MRI and it shows in the MRI. So she sent me the picture last week. It's legitimate and it's there. And the medical doctor said, "Oh, this was here with you since you were a kid." So I thought that was really interesting. It's like there's no way she would have something like that in her brain her whole life and not know it, right? But she's doing fine. She's a very high vibrational person, and she is Arcturian background. So when I look into people, I can see if they have galactic like energy in them, right? Like I can tell, okay, this is an Arcturian being, this is a Pleiadian being. And I guess that would be like the experiences I could talk about is people that come to see me. I can tell if they have galactic backgrounds. And then I can kind of tell about their psychology because the Pleiadians are totally different than the Arcturians and the Lyrians and the Syrians and the reptilians, than the insectoids. And but bringing it back to like oneness, we are still all one. So even though we all have different galactic DNA, let's say, there's no like hierarchy. And so that's really important to keep in mind, because sometimes I've heard people say, I only feel comfortable around Pleiadians. And I'm like, well, they're all they're all loving. So they're definitely real. They're amongst us. They've been helping a long time. Life is much more like Star Wars than the religious books. Let's be real. So there is galactic councils that oversee the universe, our universe and other universes, and they stop nuclear bombs from getting detonated. So they intervene to stop humanity from destroying itself. But they don't intervene too much because the highest law in the universe is free will. So they're able to intervene when we ask. But if there's great danger, they do intervene and things like that. And we were actually just in Mount Shasta, and one of our friends took a picture of a galactic spaceship. So we saw it right over the mountain. And so there's a lot of things over there. I didn't see it, but she took it, and then she sent us the picture in the group. So I wouldn't worry about ETs, like most of them are good. There's small minority of cases, like I have protocols for removing when people get abducted and things like that, where we do we take them back to it and we heal them, that kind of stuff. But that's just a small minority of the ETs. So the rest of them are benevolent and they're good. So it's just like humanity. Some are good and some are not on the right path, you know? So they're beautiful. If you do healing work, I would suggest inviting them in to help. I invite them in to help. And I had one client who was actually getting attacked by the gray aliens, and poor thing, she was having such a hard time. But I taught her how to call on the Arcturians, and she says she feels them now. She's like, oh, the Arcturians came and helped me, and they took him out of my house. Or when she sees the Pleiadians come in, she sees little white balls of light come into her house. And then she doesn't feel alone, she tells me, and she says she can't talk about it with anyone else. So these ETs are making people that think they're going crazy, like feel okay, like they're very helpful. So I love that. I have good experiences with them. So yeah, I would give them a 5-star Google reviews to the ETs. Thanks for helping, guys. We love you guys and girls. We love you.
Well, we'll
So,
spin the twister wheel here on this topic and go a bunch of different directions. I'll just share something that happened like 10 days ago. It's got me going up to a particular window that looks northwards from our second story of our house. Um, I was just closing a window and I looked out and I saw a light that I was like, that's not an airplane, that's not a helicopter, and it kind of went pff, and then another one appeared, and then two more, and then it was a little bit like the Arizona Phoenix lights, but less structured. And in the end, it was Pleiadian light. I'll say it was more interdimensional than ships, but I mean, I watched for an hour. It was a fun show, very small segment of sky, a little high, a little low. And then the next night, I went up about an hour earlier, and it happened again, and that again was very cool. Um, so with that, can you mention some part of your interaction directly? You were having coffee one day in the kitchen. It was dream time. You were driving, you pulled over, you had an issue, and then bam, you had a direct interaction somehow. What's a juicy story, a fun story you can share with us?
let's see. Let me try to recall what has happened that was direct. The most obvious one that it's happened a lot, so I can talk about this, is like when I look in the night sky in my backyard, I will see what looks like a little North Star. And then it moves, it moves. I'm just watching it and I'm like, it was just there, now it's here, now it's here. And that's been happening for like 3 years. And it's the same shape, but it will appear at different times. And when I look at it and I interact with it, because there is no distance, right? Like there's in quantum physics, there's no distance. So when I interact with it, it responds. I see it glow more, I see it like, change and things like that. So that one's always very fascinating to me. And I'll use my little app to see if it's a planet or a star, and it's nothing there, you know? So it has to be some kind of an object because the way it's moving, it's not showing me like a planetary thing, because the planets will move in an orbit, right? But this one is kind of going in random places, and I feel like it's interacting with me. And when I look at it, I feel calmed and peaceful by it. So that's always my sign when I see something. How do I feel in my heart? And yeah, if I feel like good or calm about it, I'm like, oh, then it's like a good being, And I also talk to the planets, So if I see Mars or I see Venus, I also interact with them. And I've heard other astrologers talk about that each of the planets has their own consciousness and we can interact with it. I talk to the sun all the time. And what I'm saying is nothing new. Like lots of people have said it, in other cultures. So, and each of the planets has different tasks for like what they do. They're teachers. So, like today's Wednesday. So, today's Mercury's day, which would be Hermes, the messenger angel, communication, helps us with our communication, you know. So, each of the planets has their own role, and you can talk to them, especially if, like, there's certain things happening in your astrology, you can ask for assistance. We don't worship the planets, we only worship God, but they're all our friends. Why not ask for their help? So,
Can we put you to work listening on all of our behalf? But you might get some information along the way for yourself. You don't have to share anything out loud. With your permission, I'll put up an angel named Joy first, but we might do some galactic figures in a second, and we'll see which one of your cheerleaders comes in along the way. But here's an angel named Joy, if it's okay. She's the emotion joy, high peppy voice, very fun.
mhm.
Get something private, get a compliment, get a hug. And then here's something just in general for all of us, if that's okay. And folks at home, you can put a hand up and feel her vibe through two screens or three screens, two screens. You can catch sage in the air, sweetgrass, flowers, ocean smell. Let her surprise you with cooking smell. You can hear a laugh, get a touch on the shoulder. I mean, there's 1 million ways to interact. And she'll be a high peppy voice. If you close your eyes, you might get pink light on your eyelids or the tie-dye t-shirts, the patterns. You might get a really cool light pattern on your eyes, especially if you're having a hard day, a hard week. What will you allow for is kind of the rub. So just, set your intent. That would be my only rule at this end. Is just angels, get me out of my head into my heart. Help me get an answer, get a hug. Just show me a lot of love. Charge me up. And what else? You can look up and see a little bit of light on either on your ceiling, on the sky. If you want to see her full on, no problemo. I mean, letting go is letting go. It doesn't matter whether it's walking the dog, you're an Olympian, and you got to do the balance beam, or you're about to go surfing, or just looking at the surf. Literally being in your heart is being in your heart. So be in your heart, look out the window, but try not to do 10 feet away unless you're really bold. A whole Walmart parking lot away is a lot easier, and the brain will let you give you a little leeway or slack so you can do full on seeing. All right, we're gonna grab Pontea and ask her how she's doing. What'd you get for us, Pontea?
The first message I got was that the value of joy has been greatly undermined, in the spirituality. Like it's such a powerful tool. And the second message I got is that we can be joyful no matter what we're going through,
Hmm.
you know?
That's got to be one of the most powerful messages in almost 500 tapings. I love that. Can you rephrase that in a Pontea? Can you give it some Ponteification and just rephrase that in an even more uppity way?
Yeah, like for example, let's say you're at the hospital with someone that's sick. Like if you go there and you're just being a downer and you're not like in a good mood, that's not going to help the sick person. But if there's a person that's sick, but you go there and you sing to them, you play music for them, like you tell them jokes, you're uplifting them, that's going to make the whole experience a lot better. So bring joy into the darkness and it will transform it. You don't have to go down with when things are down. Just bring that. It's very powerful.
And she's very cosmic. Some angels a year or two ago started sharing their origin stories, like a Marvel
Mm.
character story. But Joy's cosmic, archangels are cosmic. But this particular angel, Charlotte, said Orion originally. Charlotte's like a teacher from third grade if you're watching from Canada, New Zealand, third form, and with words meant to help you expand. Not the mean teacher, Mrs. Wilson, who got you in trouble, the nice one. Get something from her, but maybe hear about that star moving around. Which type of beings are your biggest cheerleaders? Who's been doing that for you? They'll jump in as well and say a quick hello. Catch a couple different vibrations. If anybody wants to put one hand out for like your guardian angel or for Joy or for Charlotte, and another hand for Archangel Michael or a loving galactic being, you can do that. Audrey Hepburn's a great angel. She'll hold your hand in a heartbeat. If you're already like loosey goosey, let her hold your hand. Very elegant. You'll catch a perfume from Paris, Milan if you prefer. No limits is no limits. And remember to like, subscribe, share, and comment. If you've actually caught, I probably forgot to light lit sage on this show so far, but if you catch it, you don't have to say you got the sage. A lot of people do. They type it out and say, I smelled sage. Wow. You can just do an emoji. That really helps other people kind of get a little more courage and take small steps. And every step is the same step if you're going from the head to the heart. Get out of what you know just for 5 minutes. It'll all come right back. But jump into the pool of the heart and you're already an Olympic swimmer. And this particular angel said 10% less thinking a day is the Olympic gold medal. That's it. 10% less thinking. I have done the math 6 times. I still can't remember. It's somewhere between an hour and a half to 2 hours and 20 minutes a day of like not being in the head. That's reading poetry, put your feet up, hug the dog. Don't talk about walking the dog, walk the dog. Don't be on the cell phone. Look at the trees, hug a tree. Again, 1 million ways to get into your heart. I bought Ponti as much time as I could. You're back on the clock.
Okay. So I got that the thing I've been seeing was Pleiadian. So it was the Pleiadian saying, "Hi, what's up, Pleiadians?" And it was the Pleiadians, which I'm like, oh, I was surprised. And then the message they gave was like about affection, like giving the people around us hugs and giving our friends kisses on the cheeks and just like affection. Pleiadians really like affection. That's like a part of their love language, I would say. So they just reminded that, just be affectionate to your animals, to nature, to the people in your life, and because words are very powerful. But touch is very, very strong, So be affectionate was the message they said.
I tell you, you are like a Major League Baseball player of historical proportions knocking the ball out of the stadium. Unfortunately, the leather's coming off the ball. So the poor kid in the parking lot is not getting a collector's item that's intact. But you're really doing good here. So whether that's Hank Aaron or somebody, Babe Ruth, You're really doing great on this. We're going to play with what you just said a little bit. I'm going to cough up the goods. I don't say this too often, maybe 3 times in 500 tapings. I got told by probably Charlotte and some others that my galactic background primarily is Pleiadian. I have to write everything down or I forget it. With some Andromedan and Sirius, not to sound too serious. And just to make the point about writing everything down, as angels come in, I make a long list
Oh,
of angels and other loving figures. Now I'll jump like 5 pages up, but you can see like Krishna and some others. And it
beautiful.
keeps going. It's the only way I keep track of everybody. With that, can we have one more angel come in with the serious background? My guardian angel, very Mother Hawaii, light waves of energy and water. Minn, like Minnesota, Lakota Sioux word for water, soft-spoken professor. Can she be your guide to a nice little Pleiadian contact? She'll connect with you first, get a little bubble bath, spa, ocean retreat. And even though she's got a serious background, they all play well together. Have the Pleiadians come in either on surfboards, they'll join you on the beach. You can just sit on the beach and enjoy. Clam bake to the right, luau to the left, lots of music, dolphins in the water. Joy can be a pink dolphin leading the pod. And you can hear dolphins singing just to distract the brain a little. At home, a reminder you've got no limits. Good luck believing it, but when you were a kid, you believed in no limits. And so maybe if there are no limits in life still, there are no limits. I'll say it a different way. Love is a constant, and nothing that I'm saying here is really it all came from angels or other guides. But Mary once said, like, love is in everything. Open your eyes to find love. And that's Big Mary. And I can do one more quote. There's not a lot to remember in 15 years, but here it is. 3 Native American chiefs said about Mary, she's love. She's everything we need. If we all had her faith and trust, there'd be no more need for fear or worry. So have Big Mary come in as well. And they'll show you something, have them show you a snippet of one of your Pleiadian past lives, even though they're kind of concurrent since there's no time and space. And yeah, maybe get a Pleiadian. Oh, and I have a Pleiadian, duh. There's a Heinrich Eric A, male. He'll show up right away with extra blue light blinking on him or something that make you laugh. You're like, that's him. He's not huge rushing forward touchy feel. If you and I are six, we skin our knees. He's not the first one there cleaning us up. He's the other type of love, broad, wants us to have our experiences. It's that whole experience is what you get when you don't get what you want, but still total unconditional love. So Heinrich Eric A, his real name's a little longer than that, more syllables. Good luck with that. You'll do great with him. And have him show you something that's light symbols only beyond English so that later it'll unpack. That's a great way to bypass the brain. And nighttime's a great way to bypass the English and your structured side. Don't put yourself down over your structure, but it's just a great way to do a detour and it's faster. And then you're such a what do I say? You're such a 5-star letting goer that Ponte, hopefully you're getting a lot right now. I'm going to read 4 more quotes, get a little extra, extra, extra. And if you want to put a hand on your heart or put your hand out and get a lot of light in it and then bring it all into your heart, you'll get extra light flowing your whole quantum field. I'll read 4 quick quotes from angels and chiefs. Heather, an angel who makes hearts in her photos, said, slowing down helps kindle compassion and creates joy. You can meet Heather. She looks like an Amazonian goddess or a woman out of an African village, tall, striking, oh my God, and either a staff or a spear. The work along the path leads to compassion and joy. That's Dull Knife, Chief, unconditional of spirit guide. Compassion brings success. That's pretty much angels who said that. And finally, learn to take life really one moment at a time. Pantea, I feel like you're doing the best you can on that front, like embodying it. It's pretty impressive.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, what'd you get?
Your,
What can you
so your
share?
teacher, Manuala, is that her name?
Oh
Is that how
yeah,
you pronounce her name?
Min, yeah, she's
Mhm.
as a guardian angel, I'm gonna say hands off, but she's with me for every second of the day. She's a little bit like that Pleiadian I mentioned. Definitely
Yeah,
wants me to have my experiences before she intervenes.
yes. She
Yeah.
was talking about the Syrian Council of Light.
Oh, I've not heard about that. I'd love to hear
Yeah.
more. Yep.
Yeah, and I asked, well, what are they in charge of? And she said, they're in charge of the spiritual evolution. And asked, "How are we doing as humanity?" And they said that we're doing good. Like we're doing better than expected.
Oh,
So
that's
that was
good.
nice. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, awesome. So that was very nice. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So remind me that it's an Arcturian coming up, but let's get the woman from Sirius in here, and we'll bring
Okay.
Minn back. And okay, we'll use me as a guinea pig, but only like you'll hear a bunch of stuff, but filter it for public consumption. I give you permission, and she'll handle the details. So, the woman from Sirius, here we go. I've been talking for 6 months about getting an AI drawing of her. I'm just going to
Mhm.
introduce her this way: long green flowing outfit, tall, elegant, like a cousin of Audrey Hepburn, but even taller. And
Mm,
she's got pinpoints of white light floating all around her. Each one is Christ consciousness or universal love or whatever you want to call the highest frequency of the white light. And she'll share them like here, 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 here. If you've been doing too much pickleball or gardening or you threw your back out, she could put a
mm,
bunch there as well. It's like M&Ms or potato chips. One's not enough. And she's very sharing.
mm,
Um, and there was one more thing. So I've got the AI drawing. I'll just do this. It's a drawing. Let her do her own intro. Um, Here's
mm,
her one way. I'd say, 90, 95% human looking, but let her introduce herself. And here's Min again. Between the two, go in. You can see a California patio with a giant pool, and it's a pool cocktail party with a lot of loving beings.
mm,
Angels, Mary, everybody's there. And she'll be on the other side of the pool. I think we might have done this, maybe not. She's got a bunch of people around her. You can have Joy and Min next to you. They'll give you the lowdown on her. And as you start to go around the pool to meet her, the crowd will split and she'll turn to welcome you. You'll notice all the pinpoints of light. She'll even send one over. Um, Min and Joy can give you a couple of lowdown, like what you could ask for. I mean, a lot of humans, we go blank and we're like, oh, I don't know what to ask. They'll give you a kind of sushi menu of choices. And you can use me as a guinea pig if you want. You can at least hear some background or something you can share out loud later. I am giving permission and not picky. Um, and so we'll chalk that off. And meanwhile, have them give you just more into the Council of Light that you also don't have to share necessarily out loud, but something about humanity out of it all. And what to know about, let's say it's June Disclosure, the Spielberg movie. That's kind of pumping a little bit of fear on that one. And there will be some attempts to hijack the concept of universal love and more opening openness.
mm.
Uh, and did you already get your experience?
Yeah, the one I got from the lady with the green dress, she said that fun speeds up our spiritual evolution. You
I
know?
love that. And that's another winner. You just knocked another poor ball. The balls are
Woo!
bleeding today. Like you just boop, disintegrated it as it went over the stadium wall. But fun accelerates our spiritual evolution. It totally makes
Revolution.
sense.
Yeah, like have fun, like have fun. Whatever fun is to each of us, because she was sitting by the pool, how you imagined it. And I just loved her energy. It kind of like these swirls of green love came towards me. And she was like a very loving feminine presence, which is what I love.
Ooh.
And she just said, like, have fun. Like it speeds up the spiritual evolution. That was her vibe.
If you sneak a hand off camera, no one knows you're doing this to get €100, $100, and it's like a helicopter landing pad. But like, a cousin walks into the room to hold your hand. Let her hold your hand. You don't have to close your eyes. Let
Mhm.
her surprise you with how direct it is. And you're like, oh my God, I'm feeling her all over again. What would be one or two more messages she would love to relay to everyone watching? And at home, if you're doing it, just breathe, breathe, breathe if you need a little extra help. Like 10% boost in what you're feeling is 1 millimeter mouth and shoulders up and down. If you're a professional nose breather, do it that way. And I'll do no try Yoda, and I'm going to make Pontea laugh because the more you laugh and have fun, I'm going to do Yoda's voice. It's going to take like a whole 15 seconds. And I'm not embarrassed because her eyes are shut, and this is being seen in the future. And here goes Yoda's voice. But as she's laughing, she's letting go. She's going to get a really big message, get something private, and get something for public consumption. But I am putting myself out there on thin ice. Here we go. Do, do not. There is no try.
Okay. Okay.
And
So
we get more wisdom from you. I love this. You're
she
on the
said
money today.
She said all the colors are inside of all of us, which was interesting. I just saw all these colors like coming out of our heart chakra, which was like beautiful because I was focusing on the color of green on her. But then she said all the colors are inside of all of us. And then she showed me a little froggy, and she said that animals are already in God consciousness,
Mm. I
which I was
totally
like,
believe that. They've got it
mm.
together. They're not blowing things up.
They're present, you know, they're just kind of like chilling, you know. So it was interesting. She was the animals are already in God consciousness. And she's so right, because they're present, which is God consciousness, is when you're just present and you just do your day-to-day life, you know? They're not thinking about tomorrow. Are they gonna have seeds or, you know, something like that? They trust 100% that every day when they wake up, they're gonna have seeds or whatever they need, you know?
I've
That
got
was
an
a really good reminder.
I've got an Arcturian for you who's like a very ambassadorial figure for me, and to me, Arcturians, a lot of them are like very the same, at least from afar. But this guy, oh man, I always say like they're all wonderful. That's my or amazing. I use some word like thousands of times to describe everybody, but wonderful, loving. But the only thing is, if he tries to hack human humor, you could get the punchline first. So it's like a fourth grader mixing up the joke that way. But otherwise, 1960s, that Spock chessboard from the 1960s Star Trek, the three-tier one, his is like 128 levels. So way smart, way big, broad design. And here's that Arcturian. He did say it was 6 or 7% too bulbous in the Wikipedia art. So I will crop it after I show it just a little bit to make everybody laugh. But get a lot of love, a lot of high vibe. You might get it all in galactic symbols, Sanskrit, music, galactic music. You can get English too, but now let's crop a little. There we go. And you can catch light visually in the room, peripherally if you're having a long day, but definitely sparkles or streaks or symbols start to appear more physically if you're okay with that.
Mhm.
Okay. And I'm going to pull back. Let me know when you're ready and I'll pull back.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. What'd you get?
But the eyes of the Arcturians always stick out to me a lot, you know. And whenever I see people that are from Arcturus, their eyes usually will have that same blue energy coming off of them, you know. And then I was thinking about the electric blue color, and how like healing it is. We can use it to like put it around ourselves. And then there was a gold on his neck, so that was giving me the energy of like speaking with our divine voice, the power of speaking with our divinity. And I have one teacher who was Arcturian, and I learned so much from him, you know, and he was a professor at one of our colleges, kind of like a secret teacher that nobody knows in the world, but one of the most probably advanced souls on the planet. So I was feeling that energy, and just how like basically how some of the most powerful souls in the world appear like they're doing nothing, but they're doing so much for humanity. That's Arcturian energy. They're like, do less, achieve everything. That's their vibe, you
Uh,
know?
Agreed. And I can name a couple of guests who have identified with Arcturian backgrounds. They said it out loud on the shows.
Yes.
I'm never the greatest on names, even if I know the people really well. I get very vacuous, which is a huge benefit to me for what I do. Suzanne Spooner, and then down in Key West, Sarah Cosme Breckman, but very famous names, and they know each other. They both trained under the Dolores Cannon, I think, school stuff, but they both independently, and that's why I think they get along really well together. Maybe the Egypt trips or whatever, or just in general. But to me, Arcturian is just so broad and so much flow and a lot, all love and super genius.
Yeah,
So
super smart. Yeah,
yeah,
super. Like some of the most advanced spiritual beings are Arcturian, for sure.
yeah.
You know? Yes.
With that, let's have you close your eyes, see a beach, and pick your favorite folks to help you here with this. Archangel Michael, Mary, some of the folks that were just here, the woman from Sirius. You're just going to look down the beach and let one of them, though, show as your poster child today. They'll volunteer. You'll see all the way down the beach, one of them waving high, really far off, just to keep it easy for you. And so that distance is for the next person to come in. You're going to laugh at who the special guest is. You're going to be like, oh my God, awesome. Let me know who'd you get for far down the beach waving high. It could be Joy as a 29-year-old about to go e-foiling or kite surfing. Somebody's volunteering and doing the Hollywood thing for you.
Hmm.
Who'd you get?
I got Babaji today.
Oh, good. And then next to him, could you allow your higher self soul to come in and just sheer radiance? You might be a lot taller, and you might look a little different, but you'll be like, oh my God, I'll have what she's having, please. And just
Mhm.
yeah. And then have her, who's been with you every second, it's kind of like your guardian angel, have her really radiate beyond English for a second so you just get a lot of love. A lot of love and get some of that blue light thrown in, blue light special. And then on top of that, three messages privately for your own personal expansion. You know, it could be for the month of June, summer, this year, next 5 years. It doesn't matter about the time thing. But also three broad messages that you totally have the ability to remember for us. Like for me, as soon as it hits one ear, I'm out the other ear. And if I didn't write it down, it's gone, but I know it was good. I need a tether. And if you could also feel either down your heart, your highway down your back, your Kundalini chakras, you can get fully aligned extra. It's a bonus of coming on the show. On your left side, masculine energy, right side, divine energy. It could be that and what we said about the back. Front side, get just a lot of love, feel glowing warmth, like you drank a brandy on the Swiss Alps on a cold but beautiful day. Or from Earth Gaia Mama, Jaguar Spirit, coming up through your feet to ground you in Earth forest consciousness, enveloping you with lots of love or all around you. It could be all four of those at once. Galactic from the crown chakra coming down. So that's five, kind of like Maxwell Smart in the cone of silence, except it's stillness. And what's great about having five different directions, there's no way the brain, ego, logos, rationale, fear, or measuring. You know, if you're really smart, sometimes you pick everything apart. You defeat the purpose of the letting go exercise. This gets around it all and just hits your heart with a lot of love. Okay, I did all the talking I could. Uh, Come back when you're ready.
Yeah, so the first message for the group is self-compassion, because we are going through a lot as a collective right now. So just have compassion for yourselves, like all of the light worker group, because there's never been what's happening on the planet, what's happening right now.
Mm.
So we have to have a lot of self-compassion, a lot of rest, and understand that there's a common humanity thing happening, that if something is working well or something is not working well, a lot of other people might be going through it too. So basically, like staying mindful and speaking very positive to ourselves through the changes, not being hard on ourselves. The second one was self-respect, you know? A lot of people know about self-love, but self-respect is another one. Like respect yourself, like you're all children of God, daughters and sons of God. So see yourself as that way, not in like an arrogant way, because we're all children, but carry that sense of self-respect, And I think respect is something that I'm not seeing too much in the modern world. So that was a big message. And then there was a third one was hold on. So, oh yeah, the heart. So when you were talking about the mind and the thoughts and stuff, the heart is talking every single second and it talks in movements. So as we're talking to people or whatever it's happening, just feel your heart and you will notice it's doing twirls, it's doing swirls, it's getting heated, it's getting cold. So just be really, really present and keep feeling the heart. And actually, if the person in front of you, for example, suddenly doesn't feel good, or if they feel good, you'll feel it in your heart. And then you can send I love yous from your heart to the person, for example. If you're in a work meeting, let's say in the office or something like that, your heart is like a transmitter. So if you send the message to the whole meeting, it will shift the energy of the whole meeting. Or if you're in a car driving somewhere, same thing. You don't even have to say it out loud. The heart is mostly telepathic anyways. So that was the other message, was like the sensations in the heart, being aware of them. Self-compassion, self-respect, and being aware of the sensations in the heart.
Beautiful, wonderful. Thank you for all that sharing. I have Geronimo for you. He's unconditional love, spirit guide. Not formal, proper yes, no. He's more like, yeah, nah, duh. You already know the answer. Very smart alecky, wise, humorous, but he's action, action, action. So it's dry wit sometimes. It depends on the person. Some people get very intimidated afterwards. They're like, oh my God, he's my favorite. You think Mary, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, if I skipped any big figures, they're amazing, but he can steal the show. He's a lot of fun. And he'll finish the answer before you can finish the question. He's like a lightning bolt. So, with your permission, do you mind rubbing your hands in a circle, throw finger paint, 2 seconds, 2 seconds? Let's just get back to the heart. I did a lot of talking there. We'll let him do his own entrance. That's good enough. Here's his own entrance. Catch one of those 60 sacred scents in the room suddenly. We don't have to light anything. Tobacco, sweetgrass, juniper, cedar, pine, desert pinon, Douglas fir. Good. Whoop. And here he is again. Get a personal, like your inner fearless, peaceful warrior path that you're already living through your heart. Have him give you, share something for you personally. And what's his reminder for all of us?
Yeah, that like well, he was first sending me the energy of gentleness, and he was saying that the most masculine men will be very gentle. And then he said that one of the most powerful powers we can have again is gentleness. So he's just talking about gentleness today.
Ah.
That was his message today, you know? Because
Okay.
yeah, it takes so much to be gentle if you're a strong person, right? And so I think in the modern world, masculinity is sort of like misunderstood, right? So, but he is a very powerful masculine energy, but he's so gentle because he's tamed that jaguar or whatever would be the shamanic animal. So yeah, that was his message.
Nice. With your permission, I'll light some sage here in Texas. You're in Southern California. We did this before the show. We've done it before. But you don't have to just get sage. You can catch starlight, you can catch smells, you can get a touch on the back from your favorite close figure, safe figure. Um, allow, no triota. I don't have to do his voice again. Yay. And are you already getting it even though we don't have any smoke yet?
Yes.
Okay. We'll let the audience have a little bit of smoke, and I'll bring it up close so it doesn't have to be a lot of smoke. Red-tailed hawk feather that the Chiefs gave me on a trail one day in Austin. Okay. And get a secondary or a tertiary experience. How about chef's choice? Let them decide something special to give to you. It's a big kitchen, it's clean, and it's been inspected. Great food. And what else are you getting, Pontea?
Yeah. Just beautiful flowers on my head. They gave me beautiful little flowers on my head. Very sweet.
Can you
Yes.
can you pick a demographic, whether it's fairies, only unconditional love, jinn, or elementals, figures from India, Native American chiefs, religious figures, non-religious figures like Plato and others. There's MLK, Mandela. I mean, there's a lot. Saints. Do you have a particular something that's jumping out at you? Angels again. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. There's always a fun angel to be met. Can you just randomly pick a group for us? Galactic figures, light beings as well.
Think I'm getting the Fae Kingdom today.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to treat that as a fairy answer. Okay. So I have Ginger for you, although I have a photo of Tinkerbell. So lock Ginger in. She's silver fluxolite. If you want to
Yeah.
look up and get a little on your ceiling, she'll do it for you. She might make us, for you, you might get a silver heart or something else.
Yes.
And for the first time ever, I don't have to go digging for Tinkerbell. She's rainbow light. I happen to have the photo next to Geronimo. Thank God. Here's Tinkerbell. She chose two words, of course. And if Ginger is like 13, Tinkerbell's more like 12.
Yeah.
And you can have now rainbow light and silver light, and here one on one side of you and the other on the other side. If you close your eyes and you are wearing earrings, they can play with your earrings. You might get flybys, you get bells, whistles, laughter, talking, sitting on each shoulder. I mean, there's a gajillion ways. Tink can be a little like, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here until you acknowledge her. And that could be over the bowl of cereal in the morning. Like, be prepared. You got to have a lot of big heart, lots of love, patience. Get something very private, but here a homework assignment. Like, you need to take a nap and have tea first, or you need to do this. Go for a walk, hug trees more. We want you to plant the azalea bush over here. Hopefully, it's not too big of a homework assignment. Get a little laughter from all that, and then have them share their wisdom. I mean, hey, if you're an astrophysicist out there, don't peg fairies or fae as they can do any answers to any questions, all languages as well. If you're an astrophysicist needing help with your formula for a gravitational pull of whatever, they can still answer it. Their preference is to stay in the fun, light zone, especially nature and helping you lighten up.
Yeah.
What are you getting for all of us from Ginger and Tink?
They like when we make them fairy gardens, like in our home. They like that. Then they were showing me how they take care of the flowers, which is what they do. They're in charge of taking the plants. So they were saying they're amongst us. Like when we're walking in nature, a lot of places we're walking by, that's where they live, you know? And I'm usually drawn to that. Like when I'm on my walks, I'll look somewhere and I'm like, oh, that's like a little fairy village, I can just feel their energy. And fairies are tiny, but they wanted to remind us that they can also become big when they choose. So they do have the power of that ability to change sizes. And if you ever ask a fairy for something, always offer something back because fairies love that. So if you want the fairy, for example, to help you find something, they're good at finding things, finding a home because they're earth elementals. Always offer them a gift. They like chocolate and they like crystals. And they especially like if you, like I said, make them a fairy garden in your garden. Just places they can go hang out at. And then they'll come and take care of your garden.
And if anybody wants to look outside, you can look down the street. And if you need help, they'll just be leaning out from a tree, but you can see them as like a 12-year-old or little that, like you see in the animated things, the movies. They can be
Yeah.
in your palm and everything in between. Like they've got like a dozen different ways to show little ball of light or little figure turns into the little ball of light. That usually makes your jaw drop and they fly off. That short circuits the brain for sure. I've seen more jaws drop from that. With your permission, I am saying that over and over again today for the first time ever. If you could just put your hands like a helicopter landing pad, but off camera down below. Feel a lot of light, get everybody kicking in here. Pleiadians, angels, religious figures, India. Let them set the table, but if you want Ginger or Tink to go first, just name which one you've chosen. The other one will come in right after you've seen the first one, but we're going to just pick one to allow for the ta-da. So is it Ginger or Tink,
I
Pontea?
think she wants to go first. I'm gonna let
Tink,
her.
Tink.
She wants to go
Okay.
first. Yeah.
Okay. So you can close your eyes and you can keep your hands off camera in your lap more if you want. It's
Okay,
up to you.
sure.
Whatever's comfortable. But let Tink come in, feel a lot of energy. And when you hear ready, you'll look down, see her in the little Disney animated, like 1 inch tall with little wings. And then when
Hmm.
you do see her physically, she could turn into the ball light. She might turn into a rainbow butterfly or a rainbow hummingbird for you and fly around. She'll do
Hmm.
something special for you. I'm not going to predict this. That's Tink, and she likes to do her own thing. Breathe, breathe, breathe. I'm going to tell a dad joke, and it's going to be very related to fae, fairies, and so on. What's the only flower found on the human face? Tulips.
Hmm.
Answer also is iris if you need a backup. When you're ready, you'll look down and get a physical through your heart. Your heart's already doing the Zen thing, seeing without seeing. You're seeing with all of you. You're getting supported. If folks need extra help, you can just look out through your window to 20 houses away. The longer the distance, the easier the brain allows. When you do see her, I always used to joke, you could bring her into your heart. You're not going to smush her. She'll fly away just at the last second. It's any which way you want to interact. But when you do hear her ready, you can look down and physically see her. and she'll do something special. Mind's eye, everyone cheats with the mind's eye. They're already like seeing what she turned into. Uh, Good Americans have cheated with their mind's eye already by now.
Yeah.
Are you
She's
seeing in your mind's eye?
yeah. Yeah. I was seeing her the
Oh,
whole
that's
time.
okay. Everyone does that
Okay.
now. That's so funny. It's dipping in. But anybody at home, you can do this, and then when you hear ready, you look down. You do get a shock, and then you'll get a little extra. So, okay, what do you get? That's the most important thing here.
She was riding a beautiful rainbow unicorn. Like it was a tiny little unicorn. And then she was so cute. She was kind of coming and like playing with my face, and she liked my eyeshadow because it was sparkly, she said. And and then she was just giving me a hug. She just had her head on my heart and she was just giving me a hug. And she said that like she felt safe with my energy, is what she said. So it was really cute. She was just giving me a hug. And then she had a little unicorn. And she talked about the sacredness of the unicorn as an animal, how they're so sacred and they symbolize innocence.
Ooh.
And she was saying that's why all the children see the unicorns because they're in that vibration of innocence. If you look around the kids in the world today, they all wear unicorn t-shirts. So it's very interesting how they all see them, you know? So,
Well, I'm pivoting to a complex question, but you're going to draw on Tink, Ginger, the Pleiadian, the Arcturian, your angels, Mary, everybody on this one. And it's going to be fun. It's three quick little 20-second snippets that then are somehow all related. And you get to, because you're technically a genius at your end, but then you've got all those helpers and you're going to fashion something beautiful for us. Then we're going to have you close it out in a second. But here are the three snippets. There's an Elizabeth April on Instagram, remote viewer, intuitive. She does a lot of programming for us. And she has a young child, I think under 6. And so she was with another adult in a room, handing a marble into her child's hand, who said one out loud. We're talking, very little counting, but good counting. And a second marble, two. Two adults witnessing this. Third marble, 3. Fourth marble, 4. Fifth marble, and this kid can count to 10, I think. Fifth marble, kid says 4, opens the hand, there's 4 marbles. Two adults are on 5. They're like, whoa, what just happened? One of the cat in the glitch in the Matrix thing, something happened. The kid probably wanted to stay at 4, and so altered reality. Okay, now the second example would be for the movie Celestine Prophecy. You don't have to see it, but there's a group of, we'll call it good guys, high vibe in the jungle, being looked for by soldiers in a revolutionary setup. They're being tracked down, and they raise their vibe. They go invisible, and the soldiers pass right by. One viewer of this show pointed out that one of them wavered, showed fear, and they got caught a little while later. But we'll stick to they went invisible. They raised their vibe. Soldiers passed right by. They should have seen them. And then the third example is Cynthia Sue Larson is coming back for her third appearance. She's all about the Mandela effect. Um, you can meet Nelson Mandela. She's awesome. She's fun, very galactic. She mentions how a lovely couple writes into her newsletter and she shares this story. High vibe. He gets injured at home. Paramedics arrive. They're great. They get him stabilized. I think he needs stitches or something. They know the ER they're headed to. Every stall is going to be packed. This place is 24/7 busy. They're in for a ride, literally, figuratively, metaphorically. They get there, it's the 2 nurses. Every stall is empty. The paramedics have been great. These 2 are great. 4 hours flies by. They don't see anybody. They get out, they get completely, he gets fixed up. They were in a different dimension. They heard from the nurses it was packed. So they had a different outcome. Now, those 3 are somehow all connected. I'm going to put up your 3 resident, my first 3 angels I always do for folks, Joy, Charlotte, and Minn. If you don't mind getting a lot of different reviews on the same sushi restaurant right now, you got a lot of input coming in, but you're so good with words and
mhm.
synthesizing a beautiful answer for all of us on how where we put ourselves in each moment, our focus, how we spend our energy, our love, really impacts our experiences. Can you draw it all together and put a ribbon on this, a unicorn ribbon?
Mhm. Let's see. So in all those cases, their energy impacted their reality in the moment, right? So that's the thing is we can literally change the future with our energy. And a lot of people say this, but it's more like the feeling, right? So connecting to the peace inside of us and like saying a prayer, for example, before we're going to go to the hospital, cleaning the energy of the hospital before we even go in is what I would recommend. So, like feeling our heart, then sending an energy of peace to the hospital to clean everything up. So, before we're arriving somewhere, we're preparing it for our arrival. That can be done for anything that could be stressful, for example. So, like I do that when I go to the DMV. Before I'm going to go to the DMV, I always clean it all up before I arrive. And when I go there, I just get right in and I get right out. So, that's what those stories remind me of, is how our energy can impact the future, But it's not like thinking it. It's like the energy has to actually go out and do something. So it's more of an energetic thing through the heart.
Hmm.
That's what I felt.
I'm going to bring in archangels for a final bit of weighing in on that whole topic. Here's four archangels in rainbow pie slice light energy format, and that's
Yeah.
Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel. There's three more cropped off: Zadkiel, Shamiel, Jophiel. I'll
Yeah.
try to show one more photo in a second, but what do they say about all this? And folks at home, what have you enjoyed most about Pontea? She's been putting herself out there, but really not. She's just been in her heart doing a fantastic job for us today. What have you appreciated most? All her details are in the fine print below the video. And please do again share, subscribe, like, comment. Every little move you make helps somebody who is not expecting all this get a little extra love in their day.
Yeah. The angels, they were saying like, they're our brothers and they're always with us. And they're helping the people that are in service. They're intervening all the time. They're intervening all the time and helping all of us, is what they were saying. And they were just reminding me that they each have their own powers, but they serve the creator. But that, yeah, like they're like, we each have our own medicine. So you can call on us for help, but they said they're intervening nonetheless, like for the people that are in service, because they understand how hard it is to be of service on the planet at this time. It's beautiful and it's joyful, but it's also like a little hard.
Yeah.
So they get that and they're intervening.
I was sitting on my couch two houses ago. So my first Austin home in North Austin, Northwest Austin, in Canyon Creek, and it's nighttime but early night, and I hear go grab my Sure Shot camera. They want me to step outside and take a photo over the house. This is the photo, and a lot of people have pointed out it's kind of vortexy. That's all the archangels, and Metatron's the little guy in the back. If you want to put a hand up and just feel what you can feel one way through your body, whoop, I didn't do it. And then also generically all around you, a separate flow, and then your crown chakra as well. And whether it's something exciting, cotton candy, popcorn, it could be anything, cinnamon, spice, ginger, something, I don't know, something exotic and fun. Get an extra olfactory or whatever we call it, extra blast of fun and love. But they'll have one more message for us all, and then with your permission, you and I will play just one more time, and then we'll have you close it out. You've done a lot of shows, and
Yeah.
what are you getting from all those guys?
So definitely was getting heat coming off the picture, right? Just heat, heat, heat. And then they said they live inside of us,
Hmm.
you know? And right now, as I said that, like a crow just flew by. So they live inside of us, the archangels, because they are um basically they're part of the builders of the universe. So and so that's what they were showing me. They're like, hey, like we all live inside of you guys. Like our energies are inside of you guys. Michael is our strength, right? Raphael is our healing abilities. Um, Gabriel is that like beautiful messenger part of us when we feel guided to share messages with others. Um, so yeah, they're not that far away, I guess the message is like they're inside of us. So when we see them on the outside, it's just a reminder that their energy is in there too, you know?
I love it.
So yeah.
And I'm going to put up a lot of angels. It's not orbs. It's not raining that day. It's a concert at Stubbs Barbecue in Austin, Texas. They have the best backyard venue. It'll look very one-dimensional, even a little dilapidated on the outside, but still great, steady Eddie lunch, gospel brunch, and dinner for if you like barbecue at all and you will go to Austin, Texas. But then they dug out the backyard. They've got what would be an alternative band, Paradise Dreams. South by Southwest use them on the music leg. It's probably one of the top 10. There's some bigger venues that have real roofs, indoor music hall stuff, but they're up there top 10 for like venues for the 700 concerts that used to go on at South by Southwest. I'll show this photo if we can tap all these angels. You and I are going to put our hands up and do a
Oh,
little
wow.
energy back and forth. Joy's in the middle. Claire is that one. My crew definitely is by Joy in the middle. But anyhow, it's a lot of light, and just have all the angels in the world come in and feel a lot of extra light. And then, with your permission, I'll put my hand up, just love and above, not my bill paying side. No Yoda's voice, Yoda's voice if you need to relax at home. People can hit pause on that, ask anything, get anything. I'm going to whoosh you once or twice. If you could let angels do their jobs, just bringing a lot of love in one moment. Somehow they combine 5 moments worth of love, and your heart just goes, ah, old Disney explosion, the way Disney used to be. Just bluebirds on your shoulder and flying around. If you could just say yes, ready for me to give me permission, and I'm going to blow your way here.
Yes, ready.
Okay, here comes, and we're going to blame angels. Don't blame Canada. Here it goes. And Pontia, do you mind using some words to wax poetic about what you just got?
Yeah, it felt like it was like a swirl of energy and it went in. Like it was like this kind of a vibe. And it was very, very like subtle, but very, very strong, you know? And it just kind of went to the places where I get my headaches, you know? So it's kind of like trying to work on my headaches that I got.
Oh,
Yeah. And strengthening. It felt strengthening, like solidifying energy, if that makes sense.
so that photo plus our galactic crowd, especially the woman from Sirius, she'll do some pinpoints of light. You'll feel her go to the spots where the headaches are. But
Mhm.
I'm supposed to say, I think the word chin up phrase and inspiration and just giggling at life and how each moment is the miracle, is the occasion. I'm borrowing from Chogyam Trungpa. Let Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche from Tibet come in. His photo fell at the bottom of the pile. It was like angel cards all of a sudden. Here he
Oh.
is young. He said, use the young photo. Let him come in and do something very special for you, Tibetan medicine on you.
Hmm.
And here comes the next whoosh. And here we go. And as they said in Goodwill Hunting, how about them apples?
Hmm. Yeah, he's reminding me of this mantra that I don't want to mispronounce, but it's an enlightenment Buddha mantra that we're supposed to say. Reng Chi, like something which is one where you're supposed to say it. So he was telling me to use that mantra, start to chant it.
Oh.
Reng Chio, yeah. I'm
Let's
sorry,
do
I'm
it
not
in
pronouncing it
English.
right.
Let's have you give a closing statement, but then give that an English format where you're good with words. You can fashion it in English, but if you could repeat it 3 times so people pick up on your vibe as you share supervised by angels, only love and above. Um, so if you could close us out and then repeat that mantra 3 times in English to the best of your ability.
Hmm. Reng Chio, something like that. Reng Chio, Reng Chio, Reng
You can do it in
Chio.
English if you want.
Well, I don't know what it means. I don't know what it
Ah.
means.
Well,
But I
hold
don't know
on.
what it
Let's
means.
have him cheat with
Mm,
you and come up with an English version till we figure out.
okay, let's do that. Let's
Yeah,
do
we'll
that.
do a stopgap measure.
Let's see. Okay.
And people at home, you can catch Tibetan bells, temple bells, or the Om, universal Om. That's pretty big. So put a seatbelt on or a roller coaster seatbelt.
Oh, okay. I like that. He said the Buddha awakens in silence. The Buddha awakens in silence. The Buddha awakens in silence.
Hmm. And what's a very American reminder for us all?
American reminder is just um, sit in silence 5 minutes a day. Don't listen to anything, even music. Just sit in silence 5 minutes a day in the morning and then 5 minutes at night. So you're starting the day with God and then you're ending the day with God. It resets everything, you know? It's kind of like restarting our computer. Um, there's so much spiritual, beautiful things out there these days, you know, but it's kind of like water. Nothing can replace it. So silence is kind of the same, you know, it's kind of just one of those medicines, water, silence. So keeping it simple, just silence, which is a good reminder. Whenever I skip days where I don't go into silence, I notice a big difference. Yeah, that's what
Pon-
I'll say the American version.
Pontea Dianati, thank you so much for being a guest on the Angels Positivity and Love Show. You're amazing, and looking forward to having you back on in the future.
Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you for having me on. Thank you for having so many beautiful guests on. You're so busy working, bringing everybody on. So thank you for your service. We all appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mhm.